Dad's not home. What's up with them? No, we can't escape. Let what escape? One of them. The little people. Something to say that.
This. Me and Henry will herd them towards you. You're on net, man. Don't just stand there.
You're a net man.
Don't let him escape. Put your shirt in, James.
Mom! Did you hear that? Hear what, Etty? There were beans and a cat, and then I heard a loud thump.
Nonsense, you're just letting your imagination run away with you. Whew.
That's in trouble. He'll be fine.
What are you doing?
We're gonna have to do the same thing.
Switch it back on, it'll escape.
What will?
There it is. What? It was one of them. It was right there. I'm sure of it.
Yeah. All right, grab it.
The video that you watch is from the borrowers and it was released in 2011. Yes, I know because it's there. So you can see, first, it's from these movies is like UK originated. Yes. So the movie starts a family of just one parents, I think, live in a house where underneath there's a family of tiny people. So in this video you can see the grandma just sleeping on the couch. Okay, that is really normal, especially in Christmas, because sometimes in other places Christmas is boring and sometimes other places it's cool because people like Christmas. Yes. So the grandma is sleeping and her grandson just arrived. So the tiny person just appeared from out of nowhere, and you know what? The tiny person decided, you know what, I need to find some candy because it's Christmas and I need some candy. Maybe we can make tea or we can make porridge or something. I don't know, because they didn't show the use of that candy. So yes, the tiny person decided, you know what, I'm gonna go rogue. I need to find something to eat. We're gonna borrow. We're not gonna steal, because these are the borrowers, the tiny people who take stuff and never return. They don't return it. So yeah, After that, the grandma started sensing like, what, I think I feel something like walking around, maybe? Yes, and the cat started getting spooky because the cat was on the run or chasing that tiny person, and that was crazy because just imagine you're a tiny person being chased by a large car. Crazy, right? Yes. So okay, the tiny person first, after stealing, he started running because he was being chased by the grandma, and also he was chased by the cat, and that was so terrifying. So now the grandma started looking like a giantess chasing a tiny person, and that's what it is. Do you think, just imagine, you're walking around and you see ants. Do you think, just in ants' point of view, do you think like the ants see you as who? They see you as a giantess because you're large and you're crazy. And one time maybe you can squash him just for a reason, like, oh, he's an ant, I'm gonna squash him. Okay, that's what it is. So the tiny family decided, you know what? Okay, so we need to prepare for ourselves so that we can leave this house, because now we are start to be acknowledged, like, okay, we're leaving this house, and this house is not our actual home. So the grandma decided to chase them and find a way. I don't know what it is, but she found a way to find their hiding spot and decided to poke that place. It was crazy. The way they show is like, it's like earthquake something, because the grandma was like, where are they? Where are they? On the ground. Yes, on the board, I mean. So the tiny people decided, you know what, we need to escape. But guess what? One tiny person, like, it was a family of like a dad, mom, and a little girl. That tiny little girl like made friends with the grandson of that grandma. So yeah, after that they went to the sewer and they find a place where tiny people were living. Like, it was like a little town that people live in a sewer. So yes, they went there. But one of the doctor was so weird because he was so determined to find those tiny people and use them for experiment, right? So they decided to put traps on the sewer. I don't know, some candies and stuff like that. And guess what? The tiny mom and dad were captured, while the little girl and another person, they had to escape because that was crazy. So the tiny person and the tiny mom, they were captured and they were placed in a lab, you know? I don't know, for observation and stuff like that, but that was so weird. So the tiny person and the grandson and another guy who's tiny as well, they had to come up with the plan. You know what? We need to save our family, even though they're tiny, but our mom and dad, they're tiny, they don't have anything to do. So, we need to help them escape because that's really crazy. So they came up with a plan and decided to rescue them. Yes, they succeeded, but guess what? After succeeding in rescuing them, they went to a tiny car. After went to the tiny car, they decided, like, okay, let's move out. When they were moving out, they started thinking, like, okay, that doctor, I don't know, doctor or scientist, but started chasing them, like, okay, where are you going? I need to use you for experimental observation or something, I don't know. Started chasing them, and that, I don't know, it was cool because just imagine giant just chasing you, and you just in the like little car, just a tiny car. That's crazy. So yes, they escaped, and that doctor was seen as a fool because you just want to experiment something and you're just saying, like, I have this something huge and everything is gonna be fine. Just chill, and like, I'm doing this observation, I'm doing this testing, so you guys just, yeah, it didn't work. So the tiny family escaped and they find a place where they can live happily, and they live in good morals. I don't know, morals or safety, I think. And yes, and since that day, the grandma decided, you know what? Tiny people deserve to live too, because there's we are like a normal family, and those tiny family are people too. The difference is in height. They are tiny and we are normal, like large. So we need to respect them and not to kill them. And so the issue is, I'm trying to figure it out, right? Just imagine, is it? They say in the Bible, you can see, like, okay, God created man and other creatures. The other creatures we don't know, and other creatures we know. So just imagine, you are living in your house, right? Or you are in an apartment. And are there tiny people living with you? I don't know. Are they? I don't know. So you can tell me, do you think tiny people are real? I don't know. To me, I don't know, because I like these conspiracy theories, but you can tell me, do you think they exist? do you think? Or do you think there's another universe where tiny people exist? Tell me in the comments, and I'll reply to you immediately. And why am I speaking